Just finished an epic interview with Robert Kiyosaki. He's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, most notably, which is the #1 personal finance book ever written. And we discussed how to prepare yourself for this new economic climate and the things that you can do to continue to grow your mind, grow your financial independence, and your own spiritual freedom. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but it's going to be airing on my other channel, which is a personal finance channel I just started. The link is right there down below to check the channel out, and I'll probably post that interview in the next day or two. It's right there down below, and I'll put it in the comments. And so we were talking, and one thing that, in summary, really stood up to me, and if you know Robert, he's a very straightforward person, and so he said, look, here's what you need to realize. If you've lost your job right now, or you're afraid right now, and you've lost a bunch of money in your retirement account right now, or you are about to go underwater and you're seeing, this big stimulus and almost all of it's going to, very few of it is actually going to Main Street people. It's all going to Wall Street, and a little bit's going to your average Joe person. You need to be able to take any fear you feel, or anger you feel, or depression or frustration. You need to be able to take it and channel that energy. You need to be able to look in the mirror, and you need to be able to look, if you just lost your job, or you're afraid you're going to lose it, or you're afraid about the future, or you're angry at the bankers. You need to go, thank you that I lost my job. Thank you that I lost all this money. Thank you that I trusted the system and the system has let me down. Because even though this sucks really bad, this is going to be the thing that changes my life forever. Because now I'm going to study more than ever. I'm going to grow my mind more than ever. I'm going to start that dream business I've always wanted to start. I'm going to study money more so I'm better prepared. I'm glad that I've had stress, because now I'm going to be more emotionally prepared. I'm going to be less fragile. And here's the thing. Quote unquote, bad things happen. And you may be going through those right now. But here's the thing. Those ultimately long-term, 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, 20 years down the road, those are the things that shape certain people into really, really, really strong individuals. A lot of people, when the pressure comes, they crack. And they curl up into a ball, and they spend the rest of their life pessimistic or angry or frustrated or in financial problems. But some people realize life isn't here to break you. It's here to shape you. Life isn't here to break you. It's here to shape you. And so a question worth asking, every one of us should be asking ourselves, I believe, is, what is life trying to teach me right now? And for every person, that's going to be different. It might be that you are finally realizing, man, I've neglected my health. I eat poorly. I haven't exercised in years. I'm out of shape, and this virus situation is making me realize I need to take my health more seriously. Maybe that's what life's teaching you. Maybe you just lost your job, and it sucks. But life is trying to teach you to start your dream business and say yes to your desires. Or maybe life is trying to teach you to become more self-reliant. Maybe you lost some money in investments, and life is trying to teach you more about money. But it has to teach us a lot of times through heartache and pain, because we're spiritual beings in a physical body, and we incarnated here to learn certain spiritual lessons to evolve our souls. And a lot of times in this dimension, you learn through suffering and you learn through pain. And that was ultimately how the Buddha became enlightened. That's the story of the Buddha, is that his dad was the king, and he grew up in the huge mansions with all the women and all the luxuries and all the jewels and materials and all these drugs and all these alcohols and all the women and all the power he could ever want and the biggest McMansions. but he was suffering. And that suffering, even though it led to this incredible depression by him, it ultimately is the thing that made him relinquish this life that he had and go on his journey that ultimately led him to sit under the Bodhi tree and find enlightenment. When he said, I'm not going to move, I'm going to sit here until I find my own spiritual liberation. So through that suffering, it ultimately helped shape his destiny and his character in his life. And so I just want to make this video because if you're going through a tough time, I want to remind you, life isn't here to break you, it's here to shape you. And you have a higher calling and a higher destiny in life. You have a higher calling and a higher destiny in life. Your calling is greater financial freedom, greater spiritual liberation, more self-confidence, new lessons, greater wisdom you can pass on to the next generation. And right now is the time for us to channel any of that frustration, any of that fear, any of that anger, any of those types of emotions that a lot of people are feeling, because I'm reading a lot of comments and a lot of emails like that. So I want to remind you, life isn't here to break you, it's here to shape you. Everything here in this dimension is here to teach us things. And the question is, what is your soul trying to teach you, or what is your soul trying to learn right now on this journey? I'm wishing everyone lots of health. Make sure you hit the like button on the side right over there. Be sure to check out my new channel. It's right there down below. I made this channel because I wanted to help people better prepare financially for the changes that are happening in our society. I actually released the channel as soon as all of this type of economic stuff started happening. I've been sitting on the channel for a long time, and I was like, look, I got to get this out. And so, yeah, I got an interview with Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, coming soon. Just a warning that he's a little direct in his communication, so might rub some people the wrong way. But he's here to help. He's here to prepare you. And I want to remind you that you are stronger than you believe. I want to remind you, you are smarter than you think, but you have to focus your energy. You have to channel that anger, that frustration, and be able to say, thank you for this experience. This thing sucked. Whatever happened, maybe I lost my job, maybe I'm having a bunch of stress because I'm unhealthy and I'm afraid I'm going to get sick. I don't know what it is, but I want to invite you to consider what Robert said. You need to be able to say, man, this sucks, but thank you for this, because now I'm going to be stronger. So what is life trying to teach you? So make sure you hit the like button and be sure to check out my new channel right there down below in the comments. Life is not here to break you. It's here to shape you. You do have a higher calling. You do have a higher destiny, and your soul is trying to pull you into that direction. Can't wait to hear about the great things that are going to ultimately come your way.